Mission BBQ Cup Series travels from the heart of Dixie to the Lone Star State, and for the 10th time this season, 42 drivers will take to the track today just outside of Texas A&M University. Hello out there, we're on the air, and it's race day today at Texas World. It's a warm afternoon in College Station, Texas, as we're here for today's coverage of the NR2003 Mission BBQ Cup Series race, the Out of the Groove 500. Once again, welcome everybody to today's Entercast on the North American Sim Racing Network. I'm Trey Wright, and while it might not be the biggest track we go to on the schedule, everything's bigger in Texas, including how drivers prospect the racetrack. Texas World is a classic on the NBCS schedule, providing wild wrecks, close finishes, and a plethora of memorable moments in the 4 previous years we have come to this facility. Alex Lozano won last week's race at Talladega, but the big story was another top 10 finish for Angel Gutierrez. There is no car as consistent as the 28 car is right now, and it's no surprise to see him remain atop the point standings going into race number 10. 163 points separate Gutierrez from Esteban Lacer, who also had a top 10 run at Dega. Logan Williams, Bruno Diacomo, and Carson Miller round out the top 5, Miller falling down to 5th after a crash last weekend at Talladega. Dylan Matthews, Rogel Dorn, Mitchell Collins, Eric Monaco, and Alex Lozano round out the top 10. And if the chase were to start here this afternoon, Daniel Bouchard and Dano Georgi would be the 2 drivers locked in as wild cards. But Texas World is a hot and cold racetrack, and what I mean by that is that a good chunk of the time it's single file racing all the way until the first set of pit stops. But once you clear that mark and a yellow comes out, it is on like Donkey Kong, and everyone is going to have a chance to get the win here. And don't forget, 2 of the last 4 races have ended with the last lap pass, including last year's win for Ryan Durrani. But with that being said, it's that time of the broadcast again, which means it's go time in Texas World. Let's go down trackside to get the most famous words in motorsports to fire the engines for the Out of the Groove 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the 42-car field roars to life on the pit lane of Texas World, and we're all ready for 50 laps of close quarters action here this afternoon. Rogel Dorn and Brendan Wilmington make up row number 1 here for the Out of the Groove 500. Dorn looking for his 2nd win of the season. Brendan Wilmington has not won a race in 85 starts. Gotta go all the way back to 2021 for that. Row number 2, the owner of that 27 car, the 23 of Matthew Hubert, starts the inside of the 63 of Corey Case. Daniel Bouchard starting in the 5th position. Next to him, the 2022 winner of this race, Elijah Gordon. As everybody rolls off of the pit area, there is Ryan Durrani, the defending winner of this race, starting deep in the field in 37th. It's going to be a 50-lap race here this afternoon, with the stages concluding at laps 15 and 30. The window opening up at around lap 24 to 25, right at the halfway point. Zachary Fitzwater, Cameron Garlington, Elijah Gordon, and Ryan Durrani are the 4 previous winners of the Out of the Groove 500. Fitzwater starts 36th. Cameron Garlington is not in the race, but his car is of Angel Gutierrez. Elijah Gordon starts 6th, and Ryan Durrani starts 37th. Field rolls off. Turns 3 and 4. Dodge Challenger pace car will go into the pit area. Rogel Dorn leads the field into the tri-oval. A fantastic afternoon for racing here in the heart of the Lone Star State. They're through the Reese's restart zone, and welcome to the show, folks. The green flag is out and away, and we're underway at Texas World. Rogel Dorn will be the Pied Piper as they go 3 wide, 3 lanes deep. Angel Gutierrez making his way to the front in that 28 machine, as Dorn will lead lap number 1, nearly going 4 wide behind them, picking up right where they left off from Talladega last week. 5 wide going into turns 1 and 2. They'll file it back down to 4 wide. That's both Otter Island Motorsports cars side by side. How about that for the start? 4 wide is Benny Watson, nearly losing his lunch watching his cars go side by side on the lower half of 5 wide. Single file for the first 4 positions, 5 wide once again in the back. So they go really, really wide and fan out here. Back down to 4 wide they go. They can hold 4 wide, but not for a while. Keegan Thompson right in the middle of that in the 14. Stay straight for now. And Texas World is certainly a crazy racetrack. Vision Motorsports cars will run 1-2. Now they'll go side by side. Matthew Hubert wants the race lead. Hubert looking for his first win of the season, 3rd career win. 2 wins under his belt already. The field will now file it back down to 2 wide here and there. Trying to get in the top 10 once again is Angel Gutierrez. I tell you, this 28 car cannot be stopped. He is a man on a mission right now. But again, we still have a long way to go after today. Still 26 races to go in the season. 16 races left in the chase, but Gutierrez wants to get as many points as possible, especially with those stage points up for grabs here. Here comes Caleb Rose to the inside of Matthew Hubert. That's the battle for 2nd right now. Corey Case trying to make it a 3-way battle, 3 wide in the back. Two Fords, 2 Toyotas. And a Ford and Toyota round out the top 6, so a good day for the Blue Ovals and the Toyotas. So far in this contest, 4 Toyotas inside the top 7. Trying to make it 5 Toyotas in the top 10 is Brennan Wilmington. He's fallen back a little bit in the 62 off of the start. And he'll slot back in but right behind Daniel Bouchard. So field goes single file for the first half of it. Hubert trying to duck back to the inside of his teammate. Rogeldorn looks for career win number 2 in the 27 car. See the field roaring past underneath the Texas A&M water tower. Just outside of the Aggies campus. You see the scale of this track, very similar to Michigan and Auto Club. I believe this track was supposed to be a carbon copy of Auto Club, maybe a little bit more steeper banking. Of course, this track, along with Auto Club, have gone the way of the dinosaur. Auto Club being torn down, this track being demolished a couple of years ago. Now, Michigan stands as the lone 2-mile track here in real life, but glad to have this racing facility preserved in NR2003. Same with the Auto Club Speedway. A lot of different tracks that we go to, both fictional and real. Here's Zachary Fitzwater, the first ever winner of the Adam Guru 500. He's not gotten off to a great start yet this season. Towards the tail end of the field in points, and he's towards the tail end of the field here today. Same thing with Toby Murphy and Esteban Lasser. Lasser came into today about 136 points behind Angel Gutierrez. It's actually 163. I got the 3 and the 6 backwards. Nonetheless, that gap is going to be a lot wider between the 64 and the 28 after today is all said and done. We mentioned at the top of the show how Dano Georgia would be the first car in via the points for the wild card. Right behind him in the point standings is Keegan Thompson, but both of those guys are just inside the top 30 in points. Unlike the real life NASCAR Cup Series, we do have a top 30 rule. But I imagine that across all the races run, there will definitely be somebody. There'll definitely be 2 drivers that are inside the top 30 in points, but outside the top 10 in points that have at least one win. Here so far this season, nine different winners across 9, and a 5th race is complete. So far in 2025, Rogel Dorn trying to end that streak with his 2nd win of the season. Hubert, Corey Case, and Caleb Rose would love to extend that streak to 10. Alex Lozano looking to make it 2 in a row. Bouchard looking for his 2nd win of the season. Same thing with Gutierrez, right at the tail end of the top 10. Three laps to go in stage number 1. Already we're about midway through this opening cycle. So Lasser continues to drop back in the 64. I haven't talked a whole lot about Juan Rodriguez this season, and for good reason. The times that we have talked about the 48 car, he has been involved in a wreck or had an issue of some kind, but Rodriguez is here representing the Texas-based HTO sponsorship. Got a lot of Texans in the field, actually. Previous driver of the 28 car, Cameron Garlington, the team owner of Stealth Motorsports, a native Texan himself. John Andrews, right behind the 28 car, hails from the town of Waco, just a little bit north of here. Quite a few other Texans in the field as well. So Rogel Dorn will take the proverbial white flag for stage number 1. Reggie Fogelman, the Houston, Texas native, and the 3 car currently runs in 17th. And that's pretty much it, actually. Coming around turns 3 and 4, Rogel Dorn will win his 3rd stage of the season. Trying to get 2nd there is Caleb Rose. He will not do so. The top 10 will remain the same. You'll see the results on your screen. We are about 8 laps away from the fuel window officially opening up here. Like we've seen in years past, this is typically where we see the first caution come out with cars merging back onto the racetrack. It is a very tricky pit lane to get off of. We've seen it backfire for a lot of guys in years past. Vision Motorsports runs 1-2. The Toyotas, 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now. All done with 3 different teams: Pacific Racing, Agos Motorsports, and Macklin Hamill Enterprises. How about Charlie Davenport, right now running in the 6th spot? Had a couple of good runs this season, but has not been able to get a win just yet. Still looking for that first win on an oval. For the 98 car, 2 career wins under his belt. Both of them coming at road courses. One at the Pirates, one at Willow Springs. Bouchard looking for his 2nd career win. Wilmington trying to snap an 85 race winless streak. John Andrews, it's been a while for John Andrews. I'm trying to remember the last time he went to victory lane. I think it may have been 2021. So I believe that would be about an 81 to 82 race winless streak for John Andrews. Alexander Rowe has never won. It's been about a season since Eagle Barreto has been to victory lane. Eric Monaco, the Atlanta winner from this season. It's been a couple of races since Logan Alexander has been to Gatorade victory lane. I want to say Pocono last year for Alexander was the last time that he was able to hoist the trophy, gain the checkered flag. $19 down of the scheduled 50 here this afternoon. Rogel Dorn has opened himself up to a 0.3 of a second lead. over his team owner of Matthew Hubert. Battle's on for third right now. It's Caleb Rose washed up going into turn number 4. It was Elijah Gordon looking for his second win in the Lone Star State. Thought Gordon was going to hit the pit area there for a brief moment as he checked up. Going into the corner, 3 wide there. That is the battle for 13th. It's Michael Lewis trying to make his way around Rogel Dorn in the 3. It's 2 of the 3 CPR cars lined up nose to tail. Bradley Ream trending towards the back end of the field. He currently runs deep in the contest in that 36th spot. We're approaching the midway point in the contest. Brandon Wilmington cut off the front end of Angel Gutierrez there. That's the battle for 9th. Single file throughout the majority of this field, and an issue for Juan Rodriguez and the 92 of Braden Perez. I believe those two may have gotten together. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of damage on either machine, but like we said a few moments ago, it's really been the issues prolonging Juan Rodriguez for when we're bringing him up, and he has another issue here this afternoon. Tough break for the man who won the regular season championship last year, and not the best start to the season. For that 48 car, Rodriguez moving over to Fallout Racing for Alexander Rowe. Rowe still looking for that first win. He runs inside the top 15 in the 12th spot. So we approach the midway point of the Out of the Groove 500. This is going to be the money lap. The window will officially open this time by. The leaders will elect to stay out. Does anybody elect to come in here? Matt Wolf will make it 3 wide. And everybody will stay out this time by. Perez in the 48 will also stay out as well. Caleb Rose looking for second underneath the 23 of Hubert. Pit window officially opening here. Here comes Dorn, here comes Hubert. Davenport and Gordon will stay out. Looks like it's feeding time on the pit lane here at Texas World. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the Vision Motorsports cars. They both turn each other into the attenuator. Around goes Rogel Dorn. We mentioned getting off the pit lane was tough. We didn't think getting on the pit lane was going to be just as tough. As the 2 dominant cars of the afternoon essentially taking each other out of contention. For Dorn, that might be the end of his afternoon, as Matthew Hubert got really aggressive going into the pit area. That might give this race lead to Caleb Rose in the 32. So the rest of the field will come down the pit lane. Rose will be the first one to come off here in the 32. Right behind him is the 63. So everybody will cycle down onto the pit area. Rogel Dorn will finally come out here in the 27 as Charlie Davenport will log a lap, and Elijah Gordon with an issue getting into his pit stall. We knew pit lane was going to be very tough, and it just bit a couple of lead lap cars right in the rear end. Brennan Wilmington with an extended stop. We'll make sure everybody gets off the pit lane nice and orderly. Caleb Rose coming around. He'll put everybody a lap down here. Davenport trying to beat out Caleb Rose. This is going to be very close. Make sure everybody gets out nice and orderly. We'll get back to the race lead, and just to go around goes the 14 and the 34, and Dylan Matthews. Heavy damage in the 75, and that'll bring out the yellow flag. Racing it back to the line, and Caleb Rose just barely going to beat out Charlie Davenport and the 63 as a yellow flag flies. For the first time here today, a hard crash coming out of the pit lane, and Dano Georgia and Keegan Thompson, like we said, they are on the cusp of the top 30. Definitely not going to be there coming after this race, and a tough break for Dylan Matthews. He's having such a good run in the 75. She'll end up on a record. Everybody will cycle around, and the yellow flag did not come out there. I thought the yellow flag absolutely came out, but nonetheless, I feel like an idiot for that. But oh boy, do we have a race to the finish, as Dano Georgi will come around here. Goodness gracious, I thought the yellow flag came out absolutely there, as we'll take a look and see what happened. 3 wide for second. Corey Case will go to the point. So now that everybody came down on lap number 25, this is going to make things really, really interesting. I still cannot believe that they did not throw the yellow flag out. I thought they absolutely were going to. But nonetheless, we've got a race to the end here as Corey Case back out in front here. He'll take the white flag for stage number 2. Case, Lozano, and Rose, your top 3 as the Toyotas have dominated here this afternoon so far. Corey Case will come around to get his first stage win of 2025. Final spot will go to Daniel Bouchard here. Stage 2 results on your screen, and it is a race to the end here for the final 20 laps out of the Out of the Groove 500. And oh boy, it has certainly been a race of our times. That was certainly first couple of laps there. It's surprisingly been a caution-free race, but now that we're officially past the halfway point, it's time for a Twisted Tea race break. So let's go downstairs and through the field, presented by Fram. Corey Case is in first. Alex Lozano is in second as he fights for the race lead. Caleb Rose is third. Gutierrez fourth. Charlie Davenport rounds out the top 5. Logan Alexander is 6th. Riley Sampson is 7th. John Andrews is 8th. Reggie Fogelman 9th. And Daniel Bouchard cabooses the top 10. Matt Wolf is 11th. Carson Miller is 12th. Bruno Diacomo 13th. Alexander Rowe 14th. Igor Barreto 15th. Ryan Durrani 16th. Logan Williams 17th. Skylar Taylor is 18th. Owen Miles 19th. And Thomas Troxel will caboose the top 20. Toby Murphy is 21st. Campbell Marsh is 22nd. Matthew Hubert will fall all the way down to 3rd. Nathan Stapleton in 24th. 25th is Danny Fallington. 26th, Brennan Wilmington. 27th is Igor Barreto, as he'll get a couple of spots there. 28th is Bradley Ream. 29th, Eric Monaco. Top 30, headed by Alex Anvatale. 31st is Michael Lewis. 32nd, Cole Sampson. 33rd is Mitchell Collins. 34th, Zachary Fitzwater. 35th is Esteban Lasser. 36th is Juan Rodriguez. 37th is Braden Perez. 38th is Rogel Dorn. 39th is Dano Georgi. And 40th is Keegan Thompson. 2 cars are out of the race. Actually, only 1 car is out of the race. 75 of Dylan Matthews caught up in that crash on lap number 27 that we thought was going to bring out the yellow flag. In fact, did not. I believe Elijah Gordon, who was stuck on the pit lane, is currently 6 laps down. He is back on the grid here. He is currently rocking P41. But this is a really good battle for the race lead that we've got shaping up here. And a really good battle to the end. Everybody, I'd say, inside the top 6 has a solid chance to win this race. Corey Case has been holding this field at bay, but lap traffic. Up on the horizon for Rogel Dorn, who dominated stage number 1, but being turned into the attenuator by his teammate and team owner. Took him out of contention, and he is currently just trying to log some laps here. The leaders bearing down on him to put him another lap down here. Gutierrez cannot be stopped. Tries to go underneath of Caleb Rose for third. We'll tuck back in line. If I'm Gutierrez, Esteban Laceras has not had a good day. Dylan Matthews has not had a good day. The only one you got to really worry about is Alex Lozano, as he is right behind the 63. He's trying to move up and get around the 63. Case will move to the inside of the 27. Right on the back bumper is Lozano. He'll go to the inside. Side by side for the race lead. Can Lozano make the inside lane stick? Case has got the preferred outside lane as they go 3 wide. Next on the chopping block is Keegan Thompson. He is just going past the pit area. The leaders are in the apex of 3 and 4. It'll be 12 laps to go in the Out of the Groove 500. Corey Case trying to lead the tail end of the rest of this race here. I believe Keegan Thompson is going to be the only lap down car. Doubt these leaders catch here between now and the end of this race. Carson Miller right now with a good recovery in the 8 car. Trying to get another top 10 finish here. And you take a look at the top 5 in points. Gutierrez is all the way down. Something happened to Angel Gutierrez. Gutierrez fell off the face of the earth in the 28. And it's a flat tire for Gutierrez. So the consistency streak will end as Gutierrez has a flat tire that goes down. He was not able to make it to the pit area, and he will fall down several laps. What a tough break for the Riverside, California native, the Bakersfield, California native. Gutierrez will fall all the way down to 40th. Here this afternoon with 10 laps to go. And right now, everybody inside the top 5 in points. The exception of Carson Miller having issues. Miller runs 10th. Logan Williams is 17th. And now Bruno Diacomo is 2 positions away from getting a top 10 finish. But man, with Esteban Lacer having his issues, is Michael Lewis with an issue in the 90. He's got an oil leak as he comes down into the pit area. Couple of mechanical issues for a lot of cars here in the late stages of the race. And here comes Case right on the back end of Keegan Thompson. Thompson right on the low end will block Corey Case. Lozano had to get out of the gas. Case will get around the 14, and that might be it for this race win. Lozano trying to get around Thompson. He will do so. Caleb Rose not as lucky. And that'll essentially make this a 2-car battle for the win. Don't think the Case is far enough to catch up to Danny Fallington. So Michael Lewis will cycle back onto the racetrack here. Seven to go here from Texas World. Corey Case has been putting on a clinic in that 63 car. We're getting the race lead away from Caleb Rose on the pit cycle. Davenport was up to 4th. Here comes Alexander, 3 wide for 5th. On back here, it's John Andrews trying to put that 7 machine in the top 5 run. Currently runs in 7th for the 7 car, trying to get underneath the 98. Keegan Thompson will come into the pit area here. But again, with everybody coming down right at halfway, does fuel come into effect? Everybody came down a lap 24 and 25. So right now, I'm looking at the 98 of Charlie Davenport, who we know can officially make it to the end. Davenport currently runs in 7th right now. Make that 8th actually. So Reggie Fogelman was able to get around a couple of Texans running inside the top 10 here. But does Corey Case have enough fuel to make it to the end? 5 laps to go last time by, now make it 4 to go. Here in the Out of the Groove 500, can Alex Lozano potentially save enough fuel to get around this 63 car? Can these guys make it to the end? I believe that Fallington is going to be put a lap down here as Corey Case trying to fend off this 11 machine. Lozano looking for 2 wins in a row here. For the last 2 weeks. 3 to go at the stripe. A big run coming for Alex Lozano. Does he make his move going into 1? He'll stay tucked in behind the 63, trying to save a little bit of fuel. Corey Case is the one that's in a little bit of panic mode right now, with Fallington right now in the windshield. Fallington will be the last car that Case puts a lap down. How is he able to navigate around the 16? Sticks high, 2 laps to go. 4 miles is all that Corey Case needs to get to the end of this race, and if a caution flag comes out now, that'll make this race official. Logan Alexander trying to get to 3rd. The 16 goes all the way up high, down into traffic in front of the 3 car. Does a yellow flag fly? It does. Caution number 1 coming out here with 2 laps to go, and as Corey Case comes off of turn number 4, he will get the white flag and the yellow flag, and will likely win here this afternoon. A big wreck in the back, as well with the 97 and the 4. With a yellow flag coming out here on lap number 50. It'll make the race just a little bit more anticlimactic. But all Corey Case needs is to get around through turns 3 and 4. A hard shot in the outside wall for a couple of drivers. Make sure everybody gets through. Oh boy, Bruno Diacomo and Logan Williams having damage here on the cooldown lap. We'll get to that in a brief moment. But right now, into the tri-oval for the 50th time, not under speed. But Corey Case will come around and he'll see the checkered flag. He wins the Out of the Groove 500 at Texas World. Case gets the job done here. Only 1 caution flag flies on the speedway today, but it was on the most important lap as Corey Case will be going to Gatorade Victory Lane for the first time this season. Alex Lozano was not able to have a chance at getting a good finish, but Lozano with another podium finish in back-to-back weekends will get the job done here. In second, Caleb Rose will get his best finish of the season. Same thing for the 58 of Logan Alexander, and a top 5 run for John Andrews in the 7 machine. take a look and see what happened. Nathan Stapleton will go to the garage area. So will Bruno Diacomo. A couple of hard hits right at the end here. He had 4 different incidents here this afternoon, but only 1 official caution. We take a look at your official standings. Corey Case will win the race here this afternoon. Alex Lozano, Caleb Rose, Logan Alexander, and John Andrews round out the top 5. Riley Sampson, Carson Miller, Igor Barreto, Charlie Davenport, and Daniel Bouchard complete your top 10. Taking a look at everybody that failed to finish this race on the lead lap. 30 cars were on the lead lap. 4 cars finished in the garage area. Not a whole lot. Cars finishing this race. Diacomo and Matthews, 2 cars that were inside the top 10. Not good for those drivers. Same thing for Juan Rodriguez. Oh boy, is all I've got to say there. That was certainly a race. Certainly a race of our times. It was a wacky race. It was a race of Texas World. Is all I've got to say. What a way to open the month of May that we've got here on the North American Sim Racing Network. A lot of racing for this month to go over, both in the FMGTC and the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. But that's going to do it here from the Texas World Speedway. Congratulations once again to Corey Case for winning the Out of the Groove 500. Next time we'll see you here on the North American Sim Racing Network will be this Monday, in just a couple of days when the FMGTC kicks back up for the Telcel Cinco de Mayo Grand Prix from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez on May the 5th at noon Eastern Time, right here on the North American Sim Racing Network. Actually, noon local time. So I believe that is 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on the NESRN. But we'll be back for the MBCS crowd next week, back east over in the Empire State on Long Island for the Barstool Sports Long Island Grand Prix of the Bridgehampton Race Circuit. That does start at noon Eastern on May 10th, right here on the NASRN. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings after race number 10 of the 2025 MBCS season. And from College Station, Texas, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks. We'll see you next week at the track.